All right. Welcome back into another lovely rainy edition of Indiebnb. Today I'm joined by Bea Porges of the band Bea Porges. You know, it dawns her own name, but you know. The band is so much more. Bea, appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Well, you know, you're one of those folks that's like, you're in the scene, you've been around, I've seen your name, I've been following you a little bit. I just haven't nailed you down, and you know, I'm glad we got this, we got this set up here.
I know. I guess I saw you in May, and it's taken till July to get here, but I'm glad we're doing it.
Hey, we're in there. We're in there. We got a lot of things to cover. You know, especially The Cure, The Cause, The Killer, your album from last year. I mean, you know, take me through it. You know, as you were creating that, and you know, as is your most recent release. But we'll talk about some other stuff in a bit. But you know, that album, you know, in particular, like, how's it been kind of being in the, you know, on the other side of that?
Recording that was so organic and so fun. You know, I started with I guess Comfort of a Crowded Room, which I recorded with Tommy at the very end of 2023, and that was the first song that I recorded with him. And I didn't even really have a plan for the EP at that point, for it to be a whole project. I just kind of wanted to start with 2 songs, and I was like, all right, let's just check Tommy out, see what he's all about. And so we recorded Comfort of a Crowded Room in December, and then we got to Sitting Still in April. And that whole process, I mean, I brought those songs to him kind of one by one. And eventually the other 3 came as I was writing them, which is really interesting because I normally have been sitting on songs for a long time before I bring them into the studio. I don't usually bring half-baked ideas. I like to come in prepared and then let the recording process take as many twists and turns. But for me, I think the structure and the writing should normally be done. And a lot of people don't do it that way, but for me, I just really like to be prepared going in. But Sitting Still was one of those weird ones where I came in and it was only like 75% of the way done, and I had a running list of lyrics that I hadn't really decided on, but I had my references, and I was like, I think we should just go with this vibe, and we did, and luckily I love that song, and it's like one of my more popular songs, so I'm really proud of it.
I love it. Well, you know, you transitioned perfectly into the song Spotlight, which is Sitting Still off of that album. And, you know, the thing I wrote down, I listened to it a couple times this morning, you know, probably the first guy to listen to you while I was lifting weights, but you know, we gotta find the time when we can.
Interesting choice for the gym. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, so, but you know, it kind of like washes over you. Like there's some music that kind of just like washes over you, and that's the thing that kind of, you know, stuck in my brain. And then you mentioned some lyrics. You know, I would love reading back your lyrics to you, but you know, Kissing in a Big House, Trips to Japan. Like, were those some of the lyrics that you had already in the 57% when you walked in there, or were those kind of taken from, you know, somewhere? Give me some context and background there.
Yeah. I mean, that song is really about just my own anxiety about the future, and how I'm a planner, and I love to plan things out to the T. I love to daydream about my own life, and I love to hope and wish and pray. I tend to hold on to my hopes and dreams so tightly that I suffocate them. And that song is, I mean, that first verse was the thing that I walked into the studio with. You know, it's coming back now like memories in my head, kissing in a big house and taking trips to Japan. It's like I see this vision of my life so clearly that it almost feels like a memory, but it's not. It's what I want so badly, and like almost so badly to the point that it's hurting me, you know? And that's where the chorus comes in of like, I want to feel how long I can go without touching the wheel. It's like, there's no need to course correct, and there's no need to force anything. And and to just let things unfold and to let things wash over you. And I'm so glad you said that, because that was the exact intention of the production.
And just for those who out there, like, she didn't tell me to say that prior to this.
I did not.
That was
I did not.
written on this piece of paper prior.
And that is actually like that is how Tommy and I were describing it in the studio, of like washy guitars and really like lush production. And for that, I had a lot of references from like Lizzie McAlpine and her album Older. That was a lot of inspiration, just because I love her band and I love how organic all of her music sounds. And yeah, it's one of my favorites.
I mean, I think like you're exploring something like, so like that a lot of people can identify with. And you know, when you hear your explanation, I think again, the reason I do this is because I like to hear those things, kind of the inside baseball around the songs, and you know, like to draw my own conclusions and see if they're, you know, around where you thought, you know, where I thought they were. And a lot of times they're not, and this time, you know, similar. But you know, for you, like, as you're, you know, going in and you're a planner, but like it feels like, you know, making music is, you have to have that kind of, you know, hands off the wheel mentality. Like, what are some other times that you've kind of let it come to you, you know, in that format? Like, what are some other, you know, examples you have of that?
Man, I think at the top of every year, I kind of think, how is this year going to be better than last year? You know, because I'm lucky in that I've seen a lot of growth every single year, and I just have to trust that opportunities will come to me, and they will find me. And as long as I keep making my music and putting it out there and playing, that, you know, that I don't have to do so much, you know, like chasing. I can just let things come to me. And it's not to say that there's not hard work involved and that I don't have to put myself out there in order for those opportunities to find me. And I remember it was the top of 2025 that I remember thinking, like, well, what the hell am I going to do now? You know, like, what's going to be this year's thing? And it was January, a couple weeks later, that I found out that I was going to be participating in the Spencer Strider vinyl night that year for the Braves. And I was like, all right, well, that was not in the cards this year, but I had no clue that he was a fan of my music. And you just gotta let people find you and let people enjoy it, and also enjoy the ride yourself, you know?
That's awesome. Well, you know, I love zooming out, and, you know, 2027, January, what are some things that, you know, we want to put out in the universe? What are some opportunities you'd love to, you know, see through, you know, if we're just going to briefly go in the future here? Gosh, there's so many people. It's funny, I was having this conversation yesterday with my friend, of just all the people that I would love to open for, and all of, you know, all the new artists that I'm loving right now. And I think so much for 2027 and the rest of this year, and for 2027 is just putting out all the songs that I'm writing now, and to keep co-writing. I think that's one thing that's been really fulfilling in this past year, is writing with other people. I'm usually a solo writer, and I write all my songs myself, and getting opportunities to write with other people and for their music too, not even just for mine. I think that is one thing that's been really fulfilling, and I hope to do more of that next year. You know, again, it's a pretty good transition. I mean, you're a pro. You do have something that has been out now, I guess for a week, but your song with Hey Nothing. Talk to us about that. Like, I mean, you know, co-writing, you mentioned you're usually a solo writer. Like, you know, how was that experience, you know, going in with another Atlanta staple that I'm just a punk and haven't gotten on this podcast yet?
I mean, Harlow and Tyler are some of my best friends, and we met a couple years ago when we played a show together just by chance. I didn't even know that they lived in Athens, and then they were like, oh no, we've lived in Athens for like a year now. I'm like, well, where the hell have I been? Long time leaver. It was funny co-writing on that, because it was one of those things. If anybody that records with Tommy or is friends with Tommy knows that, like, his house is just a rotating house of musicians coming in and out and hanging out while other people are in the studio. There was one day, I think I was going to dinner with my mom, and I had an extra 30 minutes. I was like, oh, I know Tyler and Harlow are in the studio with Tommy today. Let me just go over and see what's going on. I'll just go say hi. And they were in the living room listening to what they had recorded, which was Long Time Lever. And there was an empty verse in the middle. And Harlow's like, if you want to take a stab at it, I'll send it to you. And I was like, send that to me right now. And they sent it to me. I went and got dinner with my mom. I came home and I had the file. I listened to it. I took a walk. And I think in like an hour, I sent them the verse. And I would have been happy if they just wanted to take it or take even just a line of it and record it themselves. But I feel really lucky that they asked me to record on it myself and to sing with them. And for that, I'm just so grateful. I wrote another track on their album that is to come out in August, and that was more of a sit down with Tommy, Harlow, and Tyler. And again, one of those situations where I thought I was just going to hang out and that they'd be recording, and I was just going to sit on the couch and watch. And they were all sitting around his kitchen table writing, and they were like, "Come sit down, come write with us." And it just happens so naturally. And a lot of it is just like throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks and being okay with your ideas being tossed out and then just like bouncing back and, throwing out another one.
I mean, it seems like this Tommy gentleman has got like a, just an incubator, over there in Athens. Like, typical, what's his studio called? Let's give him a shout out. I want to make sure that we don't leave him out here.
Yeah, he's Tommy Trotwine at We Bought a Zoo Records. He's the best. He did all of my EP, and he's done Hey Nothing's record and Hotel Fiction. It's awesome. Yeah, Tommy's the best. He's a wizard.
What is it? Obviously that all of those groups have tons of success and are on the kind of rocket ship as we see it today. Like what is it about him that brings the best out of you? Like what are the things that you feel like whenever you go over there, like you're like, all right, like Tommy got me today.
Yeah, I mean besides us just being such great friends and the fact that a lot of the times Tommy knows exactly what I'm writing about because we're so close, and he knows my life, and a lot of the time is spent just shooting the shit and talking about it. But his mind is just he's one of those people that can just pick up any instrument and start playing it, and he pushes me to try new things, and he thinks of things that like I never would have even thought of. There's a song that'll be out towards the end of the summer called Carolina that I have, and I went in with my band and we played everything, and actually on The Cure, The Cause, The Killer, Tommy played a lot of instruments. A couple songs, Sam Smith, my bassist, she played, but Tommy played drums on a lot of that record. He played bass on a lot of that record, and even when he takes more of a back seat in the playing aspect, he's still so good at directing people and so good at in the moment just being really in tune with what the song needs. And he will try anything, and he's also, again, he's willing to have his ideas tossed out and and to find something else, and he's really on the journey with you, and he wants a song to sound the way you want it to sound. And he's truly he's such a dream to work with. He's such a great friend. And he just gets better and better, Yeah,
I mean, it seems like you guys have a good like melting pot of all of the ideas and folks, and I love the stories of like, hey man, I was going to hang out, right? Like that's like you've got something special where it's like, hey, we're going to hang out now, we're getting involved in writing. That's really, I think, like the core of as you get to develop a scene, it's like a scene to me is a lot of people working together in concert to lift everybody else up, right? And I think
Yeah.
like that seems like the spirit of the Athens scene, you know, in a nutshell.
I mean, truly, I think my my friendships with other musicians in Athens, I mean, like Hotel Fiction, Hey Nothing, All Pass, my friendships with them are, I think, what what makes the music so great sometimes, you know? I think the fact that we all share band members most of the time, and we're all going to each other's shows, and you know, I feel really grateful that I'm in a town with a great music scene, and I feel even more grateful that I'm in a town with great people. You know, there's truly nothing like those friendships, and whether or not we're writing songs together or just going and having a beer, it truly, like, it's the joy of my life to be friends with all these people.
I love it. I love it. Well, I'm sure that a lot of your tunes and your music kind of, you know, draws from those experiences. Like, do you have any in particular that, like, you know, On the Curse, you know, The Cure, The Cause, The Killer? Goodness gracious. That you kind of can, you know, pick out that, like, hey, this is something that happened out and about that, you know, directly related and influenced this song?
Yeah, I mean, that whole project is really like the chronological, like, kind of beginning, middle, end of a relationship of mine. And my friends, like all of these people kind of were in it with, you know, I mean, again, dating musicians. Everybody in your, you know, dating musicians and being friends with other musicians, everybody kind of knows what's going on. And so I think a lot of these songs are, they're personal to me, but I think they're personal to a lot of people in this town, which is, I think, really beautiful. You know, I think there could be room for drama of like, oh, he said, she said, this song's about so and so. But I think it's actually a really beautiful thing to look back on, and to look back on like this evolution of a thing that I think inspired so much art and so much personal growth, and brought so many friendships together. You know, it's like, it's funny that the ending of a relationship brought so many people together somehow. Um, but yeah, that project is really interesting. I think I took a break from recording like Comfort of a Crowded Room and Sitting Still. I recorded those separately, and then I think, you know, that relationship kind of ended and the project like took a turn in a new direction. And I went to Tommy with like two other songs, and then I recorded one of them with Matt Martin at Chase Park Transductions. And Matt Martin used to live in Athens, and now he's Nashville based. Where was I going with that? You know, just the fact that life can take so many twists and turns, and people can be there for it. And in all of those moments in the song, of course I have super personal connections to the song, but I get visions of like, you know, hanging out with my friends, and it's not sad to me anymore. It's actually like really, really beautiful. And the songs may be sad, but the songs may sound sad, but to me they're kind of happy, which is a really weird place to be, and to come like so full circle with a project that involves so much heartbreak. But yeah.
I mean, I think finding the beauty in it is, and the moments that, you know, shaped it and make it matter, and you know, that whether or not it, you know, worked out at the end or not, it was more of the journey, I guess. You know, at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, B, I mean, you know, as you kind of, you know, transition into, you know, you obviously have Longtime Lever that is, you know, now been out, and people can go stream that. We've got the link in the description below. And you know, you mentioned Carolina at the end of the summer at some point. Like, are we building towards a new album? Are we building just a couple singles here and there just to kind of keep the feeling out, and then build towards something more in 27? Like, talk me through the future here.
Yeah, you can expect a couple more singles. Another project is coming, and Tommy and I definitely we have a batch of songs that are already pretty baked. I don't know what the full project is gonna look like, and that's what I'm exploring right now. But you can expect 2 singles, for the end of the year, definitely by the end of the summer, one of them. So
I love it. Well, everybody, make sure you're following her on the places you get music, but also on the socials, and beaporges.com, right? beaporges.com.
yeah,
You got you get the straight from the source. She's out there on the things, doing the zeros and ones on it.
Just first,
so,
and it's first and last name everywhere. Can't mess it up.
I love it. Can't mess it up. I love it. I love it. Well, one thing I know you won't mess up here is the Pete Peterson party pack of questions. It's going to be 20 questions right in a row. I mean, you can't mess it up. And we'll start it off here. Cake or pie?
Oh, and I'm a baker. This is really hard. Pie.
She's pieing it up. All right. Salad or soup?
Pie. Soup.
Soup. All right. Sunrise or sunset? What are you seeing more of these days?
Definitely seeing more sunsets. I am not a morning person, and my roommate Aiden can tell you that.
I love it. All right. Would you rather hit a home run or score a touchdown?
Ooh. I think a touchdown. I'm like too excited for football season, and I've been thinking about it. I'm gonna go touchdown.
All right. All right. Night in or night out? What are you having more of these days?
Definitely more nights in. We're doing some home projects these days. So I get home from work or writing music, and I'm like washing baseboards and cleaning out the fridge,
All right, we got a little home DIY going. All right, when you guys are taking a break from DIY, are you more likely to hit the robot or the worm on the dance floor when your jam comes on?
Robot, 100%.
Love it. All right. Guac or queso at your favorite Tex-Mex spot?
Oh, geez. Now you're asking me hard questions. I'm going to go queso.
All right. Taking the cheese. I like it. All right.
Yeah, I am.
Waffles or pancakes?
I think pancakes. Buttermilk pancakes.
Cool. Buttermilk pancakes. All right. On a Saturday morning. Can't beat it. All right. Coffee or
you
tea
really can't.
with your buttermilk pancakes?
Coffee.
Okay.
100%.
All right. Dogs or cats?
You're asking me to choose dogs or cats. Cats. I'm just gonna go cats and not think about it.
All right. Do you identify more as a ninja or a pirate?
Talk about something I've never thought about. I think pirate. I don't think I'm stealthy enough to be a ninja. I think I'm way too clumsy to be a ninja.
All right.
Pirates
Chips
seem loud,
or
and I
pretzels?
think I'm chips.
Pirates are loud? Yeah. Okay. And you going
Pirates are
chips.
loud. I'm
All
like,
right.
pirates are loud. I'm like putting all my stuff out there. I'm not like quiet or sneaky enough. Heart on my sleeve, like a pirate, I guess.
I love it. I love it. All right. Fries or tots?
I'm gonna go fries.
Okay.
Yeah.
After a long day and after you've scrubbed down your baseboards, are you more likely to unwind with a TV show or a movie?
Reality TV. I'm a summer house addict. I don't know if you're familiar, but yeah, summer house is my thing.
All right. All right. Are aliens real?
Yeah. No, for sure.
Okay. If you were a fruit, what kind of fruit would you be?
A nectarine.
All right. It's half fruit, half peach, small peach.
Yeah, it's like a small peach without the fuzz.
Like it. Is love at first sight real?
Unfortunately, I think it is.
All right. All right. And you've mentioned a few things, but who are two bands that we ought to check out that we might not know?
Ooh, two bands you ought to check out that you might not know. I have been loving Eden Joel out of Nashville. And
Okay.
Annabelle Dinda. She's got a great single right now. Wherever you wanna, whatever you wanna, one of those. And it's like that song is like drugs to me. I can't stop.
All right. Eden Joel, Annabelle Dinda. I mean, we got some good recs from Miss Bea Porges. We appreciate those. Again, I can't thank you enough for coming on and getting into Pete Peterson Party Pack question. You conquered it. You've conquered the Indiebnb interview. And everyone go stream Long Time Lever.
Lever.
Come on, Grant. It's right there.
Well,
Long Time
thank you for
Lever.
having me.
Of course. And, we look forward to all the big things coming from the world of Bea Porges. Appreciate
I'm
you
stoked.
taking the time to come on the show.
Thanks for having me. Love being here.
Awesome.